Hello?
Cell phones. What do you use your phone for? We are all familiar about this and this, and lastly, this. According to surveys, the top 10 in the list are calling, texting for reminders, using notes, for entertainment like playing games, listening to music, and even talking to Siri, for information dissemination. Small talks like Skype, sexting, social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Vines, Tumblr, and YouTube. And last but not the least, business transactions.
Did you know that it was on April 3, 1973 that the first wireless cellular telephone was invented? Martin Cooper, a co-founder of Arraycom Incorporated back in the days, made a communication breakthrough, changing the way how people communicate through wireless mobile phones.
What kind of phone do you have?
My brand of phone is an LG cell phone.
LG. Samsung.
It's Samsung Galaxy Y.
Okay, it's iPhone. Phone.
Sony.
I have two phones, Samsung S2 and iPhone.
Different varieties of phones are available today, from flip phones, slide phones, touchscreen, QWERTY phones, and such. They matter in size, shape, features, and worth. The biggest factor that affects how individuals would choose their phone nowadays is the popularity of the phone, making advertisements and the sort a huge and important factor. According to studies, 91% of the population owns a mobile phone. This means accessibility of each individual to their phone is not a problem. Do you have a name for your phone?
No.
No, I don't. Why would I do that?
No.
Actually, I don't have.
Yes, I call it design.
Yes, it may seem ridiculous, but because of the attachment of certain individuals towards their phone, they treat their phones as another human being, giving them names and taking care of them. How frequent do you change your phone?
That is not my decision because my parents are quite strict with gadgets. They say it's not that important if I would change it because they say that cell phones are meant to be used as means of communication through text and call. So for that question, I could say that once every 2 years. That's what I.
It actually depends on the need to change it. If I see that my phone is quite kanang kagubaon na, that's the time when I change my phone. But in terms of when I want to, I don't think that's the reason.
I usually treasure my phone, and I don't usually change phone regularly.
Pag magulang siya, actually, hindi ko nag-change pag siya magulang.
Years ago.
Hello, first time ko man ako nagka-phone for 18 years.
Wait. The last time I changed my phone, 2 years? Yeah, I would say 2 years.
It depends. Do you have the money?
Because it's too expensive.
I change my phone almost every 6 months. Kasi madali siyang masira.
People would usually change their phone once they hear that a new model or a better version of their older phone is going to be released, which is why nowadays people would tend to be more acquainted with their phones, rather than to socialize personally to other people. According to Ms. Matunog, a psychology teacher in Ateneo de Davao University,
Most likely, psychology there any explanation why individuals get attached to things, especially cell phones? Well, for me, we get attached to things through attaching value.
How often do you use your phone?
When I estimate the time, I think probably like 8 hours. No. I think 12 hours.
If my phones are beside me, I feel like I'm complete. I feel like I'm not alone.
With the raging evolution of mobile phones, we can see that everyone is always holding their phone, whenever, wherever they go. A survey even says that 72% of the world's population are found to be always within 5 feet of their phone every single day, and more than 55% of these admit that they are actually using their phones while driving. How else do you use your phone?
Music, actually. Wala ko akong narinig ko sa listen to music. I think my phone is more on for listening to music rather than communicating, actually.
My phone is really a basic need sa ako ang life kasi it isn't only a mean of communication, but it's also a way of organizing things. This is where I put my assignments, this is where I list my things to do, the tasks that will be on the next days and on the week. So parang organizer na lang din for me.
Deal kasi sa akin ang personalization ng phone. Nahilig ako mag-type ng mga themes, ng mga kung ano. And game. Entertainment, pero po Instagram. Game.
I use it as a possible source of as a pastime because like for example in school when we're bored I could easily play Candy Crush to views in order to pass time. I also use it as a planner and especially in the memo feature of the phone I put my reminders there so that I would be reminded of what to do next time. And aside from that, I use it also as a calculator.
We all know how flexible a phone can be, especially with new features coming in every day with smartphones that almost everyone has. Today, aside from using their phones for communication purposes, people would now use it for different things. In fact, today, aside from using their phones for communication purposes, people would now use it for different things. In fact, 73% of cell phone owners use their phones for taking photos and sharing them on social networking sites such as Facebook and Instagram. We bet you feel guilty. Another 42% of cell phone users use their smartphones to stave off boredom, using different downloadable apps that would help entertain them for hours until they see it boring and download a new application and continue the cycle of happiness. According to Ms. Matunog, a psychology teacher in Ateneo de Davao University,
People can get attached to things by attaching value or sentimental value. And things, well, it's been proven that people tend to get very materialistic at times, especially when they feel that these things fulfill a need in them that other people cannot satisfy, for instance. Or they believe that things can be a substitute for things they feel that they lack: companionship, love, friendship, relationship. And so, or stress, for example, can cause a person to turn to things, since things will always be there, while certain situations, people will not always be. So, people get attached to things because they put something from themselves in those things. They need it because addiction over time can become so great that it replaces their want or needs for anything else other than that thing. Cell phone usage, for example, can give people a boost, possibly because there are many things kasi nowadays that cell phones can provide, not just companionship through text messages and calling, and cell phones have evolved to be so much bigger than simply for a mode of communication. So there are many, many things that a cell phone nowadays or smartphones nowadays can give to an individual, not just a feeling of having something that other people do not have.
How do you feel when you unintentionally leave your phone at home?
I feel uncomfortable, of course, because like you know, I need text and I always have to listen to music when I'm on the way to school, and I can't do that without my phone. Ilang beses ko kasi naiwan, or normal na lang siya.
It's really hard to lose my phone at home kasi yun na nga, you'll be more disorganized. Hindi, mahirapan ka mag-communicate with your classmates, with the family, and with the rest of the people that you want to communicate with. And yun, ma-feel mo na that you'll be lost if you lose your phone at home.
I would feel incomplete. But seriously though, yeah, there was one time really that I left my phone and I went to the boarding house, and I really felt incomplete because like, for me the cell phone is like a piece of me that I need in order to communicate with other people. It's like I could not I couldn't complete a day without exchanging messages with other people because for me cell phone is like that tool which I cannot really explain, which creates that common ground with other people, even though you're apart in proximity. That's it.
Makataranta, travel. Dahil kita feeling kay wala ko makamitan.
For others, losing their phone would mean little, but there are others that would see their phones as another attachment of themselves, and once they lose their phone, it would definitely mean life or death. In fact, 63% of teenage phone owners admit that they cannot sleep without their phones by their side, using it to scroll over their Instagram accounts or tweet on their Twitter. Cell phones has become an apparent extension on most individuals nowadays.
Mobile phones have many uses. Texting, for messaging someone. It's also used for calls, for internet, for basic browsing and everything. But of course, it would depend what makes them attached to their mobile phones. Besides the fact that they need to call or reach someone by the phone, what makes them really more attracted to it, besides the softwares and all the marketing technology which the media uses, I think it's the personality of the person attached to it. Because more likely, when you wake up at the morning, you would look at their mobile phones first before they actually get coffee, go to the CR, or take a bath, or talk to even their dogs and their daughters. They would check their mobile phones. These are very selfish behavior that you wouldn't even have predicted 10 years ago. But with the presence of mobile phones, because they think all people are online every day. And because of that, what makes them really attached to their phones, it's because it would say something about materialism. I'm a very rich girl. I'm a very rich man, and I have these phones. And it shows your statuses in life, just what I said before. That's why you expect from people who are rich in your classes, in your university, that they would have more branded phones, more branded materials in life. Because basically that's how we attach statuses, how we attach materials to the kind of social classes that they have in society, the social position that they have. It's basically materialism. You all know how the media actually plays people around. The marketing side, the covering side of what when they publish it in magazines, in the internet, how they actually showcase all the features of the phone, from the games to the software to the recently new social networking site. They package it very stylish. That's why people came to be attracted more. Eventually, besides the useful functions, eventually you would say not all people would need all those kinds of functions. Let's just say you need the camera, but yes, why would you need a lot of apps for that camera? It doesn't say a lot, right? It's just your need to have a picture of yourself or the moments that you have. But why would you want a lot of apps there? It says something about being in the kind of generation right now. In psychology, back when I was in college, we call it the technological industry with the kind of attachment we have with our material things as a we belong in the narcissistic generation. We're all narcissists, like smoking people. In any way, we're very self-centered when we have these kinds of things, these material things. That's why whatever happens to it, we pay attention to it in every detail. Besides the selfie pics, the selfie pics trend right now, self-centered, the kind of selfish desires that you have for yourself, besides posting selfie pics and all that, would mean that you have to have it all.